Morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. For people who aren't familiar with HMCS Hunter, explain the work that you guys do.
So, as a Naval Reserve Division, we're one of 24 units across Canada. Our job primarily is to recruit and train reservists so that we can augment the regular force Navy in support of Canadian Armed Forces operations.
And how did you first get involved?
So I was looking for a way to pay for my university. Seemed like a great opportunity for a part-time job, full of adventure, travel, and unique leadership experiences. So here I am now,
Did it live up to your expectations?
and then some.
Okay.
I'm here for a reason. I really am passionate about the work that I'm doing with the Royal Canadian Navy, and appreciative of the opportunities it's provided me.
It's been a lot of years since we've had someone locally taking this position. Why is that?
Yeah, it seems that a lot of the officers that come through HMCS Hunter tend to go full time and work with the Navy. I can think of maybe 10 in the last 5 years that have been trained that are out there doing different things, like working on submarines, deploying on our frigates, and more, including some that are deployed in the Middle East right now.
But you stayed. But you had a little bit of a what would you call it? A hiatus? A little bit of a break in your career. What have you been up to?
So, as a reservist, I get the opportunity to take full time employment with the Navy and also come back to Windsor and work part time with the reserves. As a reservist, part time reservist, I was able to take a few years and be a high school teacher where I taught at Kennedy. And I also worked on the Gordie Howe International Bridge Project for a few years, helping out with the Maritime Safety and Security Program.
And then you came back. Why did you want to come back and do this more full time?
So I had a really good opportunity to work for Ottawa, and I was working remotely, and that's the role I'm currently filling. As a strategic outreach officer for the Royal Canadian Navy, I get to travel across Canada building programs and partnerships to help spread the word, help recruit new members, and help make meaningful relationships in different communities across Canada.
How important is it that somebody locally have this position?
Well, I think it provides me a leg up on maybe some of my predecessors where I know the people, I know the team, I know the people in the community and have developed those relationships. So it might be easier for me to get started and be moving a lot faster.
What are your priorities as the new commander?
So I appreciate that question, and I put a lot of thought into it. But first and foremost, I think it's important that we develop leaders at HMCS Hunter. So all of the folks there that put a uniform on, they have to be a trusted member of the community. They have to be an upstanding citizen. So developing them as leaders in the community is important. Community engagement is my next one. And I think that directly is tied to what we can accomplish and build in our community will kind of play out across Canada when these people travel and go do the work they do with the Navy. And then my third thing I want to focus on is operations. So every year we do an exercise border sentinel. We work with all of the local Marine units here on the water in April to make sure we're prepared and we know each other and we're able to work together should the community need us. But also operations that our members can go out and participate in with the Royal Canadian Navy. Go out and get that experience and bring that back here so that we can be a stronger Navy and a stronger community.
How important is it for you to boost that visibility, not only here locally, but put Windsor on the map when it comes to the Navy?
It's extremely important. And, being from HMCS Hunter down here in Windsor, we're one of the only reserve units that share an international border. So we have some visibility where we can work with the U.S. We can really elevate our profile down here. But it's important to me that everybody in our community knows that the Royal Canadian Navy is here and it's working for them every day to make sure that Canada is safe and able to do all the things we need to do.
What are some of the projects that you're involved in right now?
So one of the best projects that we've developed here at HMCS Hunter is our high school co-op program. So that high school co-op program allows students to join the Naval Reserve to complete basic training while earning 4 high school credits and making a little bit of money on the side.
And that's how you got started.
So that program didn't exist. However, I did join at a high school. I was sitting in gym class at Riverside. A friend of mine was talking about how he completed basic training last year, and I said, "Take me there tonight. I'd like to sign up." So
It's always funny how it's those friends who pull us along that get us involved in things that we wouldn't otherwise think of.
I think of a story of when I was a young engineer in the reserves. We were sailing on a ship on the west coast out of Victoria or Esquimalt, British Columbia, and it was HMCS Nanaimo. There was an engineering department there, and there's 9 of us in that department. 7 of us had graduated from Riverside within about 2 or 3 years of each other, and the 8th person went to Herman. So
Wow.
small world, smaller Navy,
Hmm.
but a lot of people from Windsor are well represented within it.
That must build the confidence in knowing what this is capable of achieving here locally.
Well, it's those types of stories that I'm able to connect with the community and understand the value and share with our community that there's people right here from our city that are out there doing this work.
Are there any misconceptions that you come across frequently that you need to sort of dispel?
As a reservist, people don't understand the full time capacity in which many of our sailors are working. So, thinking a reservist is you're thinking, 1 day a month and or 1 day a week, whatever that may be. And that is an opportunity for those that are working full time civilian careers. You come here to contribute, and maybe you're just leading and developing the next generation. But there's a good amount of reservists, and I think the number is probably around 20 to 25% of reservists across Canada are serving in a full time capacity, augmenting the reg force and doing that work.
If people are listening to this and they're interested, what's the first step they need to make, or how do they identify that this might be something they're interested in?
Well, they have great websites. They really do. Lots of video, lots of effort goes into that. So the forces.ca website, Royal Canadian Navy, part-time opportunities. But more importantly, HMCS Hunter, 90 Mill Street, right down on the waterfront. Come on down, knock on the door. There's people there 8 to 4, Monday to Friday, and ask the questions you need to ask, and we'll show you around the building and make sure that you have all the information you need.
All right. Thank you so much and good luck.
Thank you.